Liquid latex tends to be more on the fetish side of things than the BDSM one, but it still can be lots of fun to play with. So we're going to talk about that today. Hey guys, it's Morgan from BDSM Relationships and Education. Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you haven't done so already, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. The button is below, and that way you can keep up with the 2 videos per week that I post on various BDSM and fetish topics. So as we know, in the BDSM and fetish world, latex is a really, really popular kink. A lot of people love wearing latex rubber. They love looking at people in it. They love the feel of it, just everything about it. You will come across latex in so many different forms within the kink world. So obviously clothing, but you'll also find vac beds and other things like that that really have that really bring the latex to the fore, and it's just so much fun to play with the sensations and everything else. So liquid latex then is a liquid form of the latex that you're used to in clothing or vac beds and that kind of thing. It peels off of the skin easily, and I put that in quotes because it's not always easy to get it off your skin. But I have some tips for that, so we'll talk about that in just a moment. And it does really come in a variety of like colors and finishes, so you can get metallic liquid latex. You know, you can get more matte like liquid latex. If you want it to have a nice high shine, you use some silicone lube afterwards, and that will shine it up. You can get the sort of like white, clear liquid latex, which ends up drying to kind of a yellowish sort of color. Or you can get latex that already has color in it. So I've got a couple of tubs here of colored latex that we're going to play with. So we're going to, like I said, I'll give you some tips on how to put that on and how to, like, you know, keep it from being an awful experience in general. But first, we do need to talk a little bit about safety, because liquid latex is a pretty safe sort of thing to do, but there are some safety concerns. So obviously, if you have a latex allergy, this is not a video for you. And you shouldn't be in places where people are wearing a lot of latex, depending on the severity of your allergy. There are some parties that will say that they are, you know, latex and rubber free because they have somebody, you know, members of the community that have severe allergies but still want to go out to parties. So you'll find often that at the big club parties, you'll find a lot of latex because people like to wear it, because there's a big emphasis on fashion at the club events. But in the smaller, like private dungeon, private home parties, you'll find a lot less of it. And a lot of times, if you ask the host whether it is a latex-free environment, they can, you know, ask their participants to refrain from, you know, wearing and bringing things made of latex. So anyways, that is, I think, the number one safety concern, because latex allergies can be potentially fatal. So usually people who have that serious of an allergy know they have an EpiPen, but that's still no reason to expose them. Like, an experience with an EpiPen is not a fun one. Like, it still requires, you know, going to the hospital and everything else. It's miserable. So, you know, don't put a person in that kind of a situation. If you are allergic to latex and you are a member of the kink community, I would highly suggest that you do have precautions, because there is a lot of latex within the BDSM world, and a lot of people won't realize it. They get confused. They're like, well, you said you had a latex allergy. This is rubber. And it's like, well, it's latex rubber. It's the same kind of thing. Just don't worry about it. Don't touch me. So there's that. You know, latex gloves for medical type play are, you know, all over the place. I'm happy that a lot of places are going to nitrile gloves instead, but you still will find a lot of latex around. There's a lot of toys made of latex. I've got a couple of latex hoods sitting up there on my shelf that you guys can't see because it's not on the camera. But it's right there, I swear. But yeah, so I've seen cuffs made of latex. I've seen all kinds of things. So just be aware and talk to your party host before you go. And hopefully you can get something worked out there. Even if you aren't allergic to latex, it is best to do what's known as a skin test. So find a little bit of skin that, you know, won't necessarily be exposed, and just put a small amount of the latex on. leave it for a couple of hours, and then see if your skin reacts to it. So if you have like a lot of redness or itching or swelling or anything like that, then latex isn't for you. If, you know, it's just a pain in the ass to peel off and maybe a little irritated, like, then you shouldn't worry about it too much. I tend to, on my skin, sometimes the latex will irritate it. It'll get a little red, but it don't have any of the other symptoms, so there's no itching and there's no swelling to go along with that. So I know that I'm fine. I'm not allergic to latex. So preparing for the play with the liquid latex, let's talk about a couple of different kinds first. Like I said, I have a couple of jars from a local supplier that I don't think are around anymore, so I'm not going to mention their name, but the latex is pre-colored, so I've got purple and I have black here. So we're going to take a look at these and how they apply. I also have a really standard bottle. This is from Spirit for Halloween of liquid latex, because I enjoy doing like special effects type makeup for Halloween and, you know, whenever. Certainly not a pro, but it's just a hobby. But yeah, so you can get jars of liquid latex. For me, this one cost $20. I could have got the same thing at Value Village for like $15, which I found out after the fact, and I'm a little upset, but don't mind me. I don't even know how much these jars cost, because it's pretty old, to be honest. So it's been around for quite a while. And they do warn you on the front. There is a label. I don't know how well you guys can see that with the glare, but it has latex and ammonia. You want to find latex that has low ammonia, because otherwise it's going to stink. So this one is ammonia free. Still doesn't smell good, but at least it has that. And it claims to peel off easily. So easily is a matter of opinion, but let's talk about how to make it peel off a little easier. So the best way is with a razor. So this is before we put anything on. We want to shave the area that we're going to put the latex onto, because those little itty bitty hairs that you have on your body are going to cling to the latex and they're going to make it miserable to get off. So even on your face, you just have the little baby hairs. You're going to want to shave those too. Don't worry, it's not going to make the hair grow back thicker or anything. So we're just going to, for me, I'm going to shave a little patch of skin here, because I'm going to put this stuff on my arm to demonstrate to you guys. This is best to do in the shower. Everybody knows that dry shaving kind of sucks, but whatever. Sacrifices I will make for the sake of my videos. So, okay, I shaved a little patch of skin. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put some lotion on my skin, and this will help moisturize the skin so that the latex sticks to it, but it doesn't stick too much. And it's going to be much easier to peel off afterwards if I have nicely moisturized skin. So we want to put the moisturizer on beforehand. Give it just a couple of minutes to sort of soak into the skin before we put the latex on. So while I'm waiting for that to sort of soak into my skin, I'm going to show you the tools, the stuff that I have here to apply the latex, and then we can get going. So I have just a couple of little dishes here. They're just a shallow little porcelain kind of dish. So I'm going to use these to pour my latex into. And then I have a bunch of really cheap, inexpensive makeup sponges. So these, I got them at the dollar store, because if you saw my other pervertible video, I love the dollar store. But basically anything I put the latex on is going to destroy. So I'm going to use cheap makeup sponges, because I don't want to use anything that's, you know, I want to keep or that's of any real value. You can also use brushes with latex, but again, I would buy those brushes from the dollar store. You may run into a problem with the brushes shedding, but if you use good paint brushes, good makeup brushes, anything like that, they're going to be destroyed. So don't use anything that you really want to keep, because you're going to have to throw it out afterwards. So let's, we'll pour out some of this liquid latex. I put lotion on my hands, and now I need to undo things. This is just brilliant. Excuse me a moment. Towel saves the day. Now, I definitely don't want to get any latex on the towel either. There we go. So I don't want to get any latex on the towel either, because then the towel will get destroyed. So I'm just going to pour a small amount into my dish. Now this is going to start to dry pretty much immediately, so I don't want to pour too much out all at once, because then I'll end up with like a film on it and that sort of stuff. So I think that, okay, it's always handy to have a bunch of knives just kind of kicking around. Okay, so we're going to leave that in the jar, but you can see there's a bunch stuck to the lid there. Let me see if I can get the black one. Yeah, you can really smell the ammonia in the colored latex, whereas the white stuff here, it still doesn't smell very good, but it doesn't smell as bad. So I'm going to put some on my arm here, and I've got a couple of different sponges. So I'm just going to, I'll show you guys, I'm just going to dip the sponge into the latex so that there's some on it. And then I'm going to apply just a thin layer to the skin, so you can kind of see there. And I'll do that with the other colors, and I can see that there's some hair in this one, so this is going to hurt to pull off. And I shook all of these before opening them, so there's our black. And the black tends, at least this particular one that I have, is more gray than black. And a bit of the purple. Now, you can see the colors aren't, especially that purple really isn't showing up very well. So you're going to have to layer the liquid latex. So basically, you have to let this dry, and then you can add another layer. So a little hint to help it dry is to use a hair dryer. I forgot to grab my hair dryer from the bathroom, but if you put it on like a low setting or the cool setting, that will help it dry. You can just kind of blow on it, and that will help as well. In thin layers, this stuff from the Spirit will, the sort of regular liquid latex will dry fairly clear. But if you layer it up too thick, then it will get really quite yellow. So let's give that one an extra, a little more here to sort of thicken it all up. And of course, a thicker layer of latex is easier to get off because it'll all stay together and hopefully peel off in one go, as opposed to thinner layers, which may break up as you try to peel them off. So we'll add to the black, and there we go. And now that's nice and solid. You can't see through it. And our purple here. I did not shave enough of my arm, but the purple is starting to kind of show up there for you guys. I don't know how well you can see that, but so we're going to have to let this dry a little bit. I'm going to add a couple of more layers, and then I will be back. Okay, so my latex is just about dry on my arm here. You can see that the bottom one is, there's only a little bit of the white left. That stuff isn't quite dry yet, but the rest of it has turned clear. The black is there. Now you can see the purple. Now this is just a fairly thin application. It's just 2 layers of the latex. So we're talking super, super thin here. If you want to wear it out as an outfit, you'll probably need a few more layers. The black here, I'm really quite impressed because it has dried down a lot darker. It's less gray. I wouldn't say that it's like totally black. I don't know if you can see the difference between my fingernail and the latex there in color, but my fingernail is black. But it's pretty decent after the 2 layers and drying down. So you'll need a couple more because I can still see some skin through there, but you get the basic idea. Now, I did forget to mention in the application part that you can use craft sticks. So these are just, some giant popsicle sticks. You could use regular size popsicle sticks, but I have these in a jar because I use them as tongue depressors, but they would work perfectly as well. So then when you are done, I'm just going to pull my little table a bit closer here. But when your latex has dried, it's going to be kind of sticky. So, and apparently still a little wet in places. So you're going to want to protect that. So you want to use a little bit of baby powder. So this is, don't mind this, it's all in Spanish because this is powder that I bought while I was in Mexico last year. I don't use a lot of baby powder in my life. So you just really, so there's powder all over the place. You just need like the smallest amount and just dust that over and kind of rub it in. Now, obviously that has gone from shiny to rather flat, but now I can touch the surface of it and it's not sticky and gross. If I want to shine it up again, then that's really easy to do. I just need some silicone lubricant. And I do mean just like sex lube here. So I have some, this is just like a little free sample bottle that I picked up. This is Uberlube. So there you go. Have a plug, guys. And so I'm just going to, rub that over the latex. And that will shine it all up again. And again, I still have some like not thoroughly dry parts, but there we go. So that will, let me just do this up and then I'll show you guys. That'll shine everything up again, but it won't be sticky now because we've added that layer of powder. So if you can't really see down here. Can't really catch the light to show you guys how shiny it is, but you can see on the others that it is quite shiny, and silicone lube doesn't dry very quickly at all, so it will last for a long time and you'll be nice and shiny. Now, so if you are going to wear liquid latex out to a club, I would suggest applying it at home, let it dry, powder it, go to the club, and then apply your silicone lube. Otherwise, everything is just going to be covered in silicone lube, which, I mean, that sounds like it would be a fun thing, but it's really not, because then everything's just going to be annoying and slippery and gross, and like silicone can stain fabrics and stuff like that, and it's hard to get out of stuff, so you just don't want to go there. So I wouldn't put the silicone lube on until you actually get to the club, and you need to be all nice and shiny at that point. So again, it's really, really simple just to peel this stuff off. Thicker layers, again, much easier, but I've just used my fingernail and I can peel all that off. The little bit of hair that I did manage to catch in there doesn't even matter all that much because I put the lotion on my skin first. So have a Silence of the Lambs moment. It puts the lotion on its skin, and then you will have a much easier time of peeling this liquid latex off. I have to give a shout out to Simply Nailogical for a bit of peel porn here. I should have done a nice close-up for her. There we go. Anyways, so that is basically liquid latex. It's a lot, like I said, a lot of fun. You can get the clear stuff in Halloween stores. You can also put cream makeup on the clear stuff if you want to give it color or anything like that. You could, I suppose, experiment with coloring the latex yourself, but I don't know how to do that, so I'm not gonna. I'm just not gonna. I'm sure there's instructions on the internet about how to do that. You can buy the latex that already has the color in it. It's going to vary in price depending on where you buy it and what like quality of latex. So this stuff with the ammonia in it is going to be a lower quality than my stuff over there that is ammonia free. So that's totally up to you. I should have said this in the safety section, but guys, this is not a substitute for condoms. Okay, just no, it is not. Like, I hate that I even have to say that, but I do, because there are people who have tried to use cosmetic grade latex to make condoms, just like paint it on or whatever, and it's not going to work, so don't do it. But anyways, that is liquid latex in a nutshell. So have fun, experiment, you know, enjoy it, create an outfit, create parts of an outfit. It's great for just doing like a set of pasties or something like that if you're going out and you don't want to be like totally topless, or the rules say that you can't be totally topless. You know, obviously if you just try to like cover your genitals, like first off, that's going to be a nightmare with all that skin and folds and everything else and hair potentially. But it's also going to be really obvious. You can get away with sometimes on the top, but not so much on the bottom. But anyways, have fun with it. Just don't put it on body hair, because then it'll be difficult to get off. Remember to put some lotion on before you put it on, and you're all set. So thanks very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.